Yes, the David Camp podcast. What we have all been waiting for all season. The long-awaited arrival of David Kampf. Yeah, baby. David Kampf. David Kampf, the guy who is probably honestly the player who I have made the most fun of in the entire league over the last several years. Like because we watch a lot of Toronto Maple Leafs up here, and obviously he was a pretty long time Toronto Maple Leaf. But yeah, David Kampf is now a Washington Capital, and I mean, let's hold on a second here. Like I'm going to do a proper intro in a minute here, and we are going to do a proper podcast in a minute. But I just have to say this, like I just have to get this off my chest because David Kampf, like the guy who you know this, I nicknamed him Elliptical because he is just pure cardio out there. Chris Patrick, look at me, okay? Look at me in my eyes. This is not what we had in mind, sir, when you said you wanted a top 6 forward. This is not even a top 12 forward. My goodness. All right, let's get into it. Let's start this godforsaken podcast where John Carlson is no longer a Washington Capital. Nic Dowd is no longer a Washington Capital. Yeah, let's just get into this thing here before I really blow a gasket, focusing too much on David Kampf. So boys, girls, babes, a solemn day here, like I said, at the Jenaya Talks Caps podcast. John Carlson, Nic Dowd, I just alluded to it. They are no longer members of our beloved Washington Capitals. With the Nic Dowd news breaking during the daytime yesterday, and then the John Carlson news, the trade that quite frankly shocked the hockey world at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. This is, a lot for us to digest right now, and we wanted to get into all of it. And so we are trying out something new here today over on the Jenaya Talks Caps YouTube channel. I figured, with today being the trade deadline, that today was as good a day as any to try out new things. Just like the Washington Capitals are evidently going to be trying out new franchise defensemen now with John Carlson gone. But hey, that's what we're here to talk about, that and so much more. And so anyway, over on the YouTube channel, like I was saying, and again, that YouTube channel is just under the name Jenaya Talks Caps. If you were listening in audio only, and you weren't aware that we even have a YouTube channel, it is Jenaya Talks Caps over on YouTube. Okay. And yeah, what we're doing over there today, what we are trying out for the first time, is actually a live streaming of our podcast. And so the reason why that is cool is because it allows you, the listeners, all of you fine folks out there, to be able to leave us comments in real time. And then they pop up here for me, and then I can read them out and respond to them live here on air, etc. And so, I thought that that's pretty cool, cooler than trading away John Carlson. And it was well past. I'm not going to let it go. And it was well past time for me to get a little more tech savvy here. Anyway, I know people who know me in real life. If you know me in real life, then you know that I am not the most technology-driven person ever. I'll actually put my smartphone away and not even look at it for full days at a time sometimes. I do that pretty regularly, actually. But yeah, when it comes to the show here, it was time for us to get just a little more tech savvy here. And I am certainly excited to do it in this way because I really love the idea of being able to, read comments out loud, live on air. I think that's fucking awesome, frankly, because you guys are always coming in hot with a bunch of really great comments, really great insights into the team and the rest of the league, really. So to be able to get your guys' thoughts out to the public here live on air, and for me to be able to interact with you guys in real time, I absolutely love that idea, and I'm happy to do it. And so, yeah, you guys drop us your comments over on YouTube, and we will get them popping up here in the chat, and we will be able to respond. And yeah, we'll get to as many as we can here throughout the show. And yeah, I mean, before I continue babbling on here any longer, let me introduce my guest for today's show. Many of you, of course, will recognize her already, as she is becoming somewhat of a regular here. And I wanted to invite her on again today to get her reaction to some of these trades that the Caps have made. get kind of, you're already shaking your head, get kind of like a pure fan perspective, an emotional perspective, just on what's gone on here. And then I will try to bring the, logical, level-headed, analytical perspective to what the Caps are doing at this deadline, or what they did do at this deadline. Although I recognize that that is sometimes easier said than done, as I too am a big fan of John Carlson and Nic Dowd. And so certainly from a fan perspective, like, this has not been an easy couple of days here. As a Washington Capitals fan, I think we would all agree with that. But yeah, we'll get into it. And so let's welcome back to the program Sunny, diehard Capitals fan, fellow diehard Capitals fan. Sunny, how are you doing today? Although I think I probably already know the answer to that one. But yeah, why don't you just let us all know how you're doing? How's it going? How are you feeling? What's the vibe of the day? Let's start with that.
I had an ulcer a couple of months ago, and this feels worse than the ulcer. So I think that puts it into perspective. This hurts more than my ulcer. I tell you that much. And that's all that sums up. That's all I can sum it up to.
That's bleak.
An ulcer hurts. So, it's like...
You were like, I mean, like, you can tell the people, you can be honest, like, with the Nic Dowd one sucked, but like when the John Carlson one came through, like when you woke up,
you saw my reaction. Last night when it came through last night, we were talking and you're like, guess what happened? And I'm like, oh, we got somebody. No.
I presented it like guess what just happened, or guess what just went down, and you're thinking like we acquired somebody. Yeah. And you're like, what is it? And I'm like, well, it's something really big. And you're like, oh, who'd we get? And I'm like, oh dear, this is gonna hurt. Like,
I opened my phone, the first thing I see, I was in shock. I was just like, what? No, that's fake news. That's fake news. And then it was confirmed that I saw by Elliot Friedman.
I did like when I kind of like awoke this morning, and it's like my brain, my heart, my body, I don't know, like every part of me was just hoping that it was a bad dream. And yeah, no such luck. We wake up this morning, John Carlson is no longer a Washington Capital. Let's go through. We'll quickly go through the trades here. Like, we'll let everyone know what the returns were in these trades. Going, both ways for all of these. There were, let's see, 4 trades in total involving the Caps. 2 guys out, 2 guys in. The guys coming in are nowhere near the guys that are going out. So that's never fun. But yeah, so we'll let everyone just know the returns here. Like I said, we're trying out this new streaming software. So you guys, please do let me know if there's any problem with the audio or anything like that, because we haven't really fully figured this out yet. So, but yeah, let's go through the trade returns here. So I've got this here. We'll just pull this one up. Let's see if this works. And it does. Excellent. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, John Carlson traded to the Anaheim Ducks. Like I said, it came really late at night. Like, it was technically into the early morning hours of trade deadline day of Friday. So they trade him to the Anaheim Ducks. They get a first-round pick and a third-round pick in return. The first round pick is a conditional pick, not in the sense that like it's conditional of whether or not it'll be a first round pick. It's just conditional, as in like we don't yet know which year that pick will be for. So essentially it is by default, it is a 2026 first round pick. But if you can see right here on the screenshot that I took here, if the Ducks do not qualify for the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs, which it looks like they will, but if they don't, then the Ducks, they will have the option to retain their first round pick in the 2026 draft and instead send the Capitals their first round pick in the 2027 NHL draft. So yeah, semantics there really. I mean, some people have an opinion on which draft is stronger and which one you'd rather have. But yeah, for both quite similar drafts. So, but yeah, so a first round pick and a third round pick in return for John Carlson. We'll get into this one more in depth for sure in just a second here. And I'll just pull up the Nic Dowd move here. So Nic Dowd traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. That one, like I said, happened a day earlier, day before the actual trade deadline. This one coming down on Thursday. And yeah, in return, the Caps, they get a second round pick, a third round pick, and a goalie prospect as well, in sending Nic Dowd to the Vegas Golden Knights. So again, we'll come back to this in just a second. We're going to do some more in-depth talk here, obviously, but first we just want to let everyone know what the returns were. And then we've got, I know you're shaking your head at this one. They just love the ex-Leafs. Love the ex-Leafs today. I don't know if anyone, like everyone, like a bunch of the beat reporters were like, oh, another ex-Leaf for Spencer Carberry, who used to be an assistant coach with the Leafs. And I'm like, Spencer, you realize that you guys were not good, right? You didn't win anything? Like, holy cow. But yeah, they're loving the ex-Leafs. Timothy Liljegren, coming over from the San Jose Sharks. He is, for those who don't know, he's a right shot defenseman. So this is the guy who's going to presumably replace some of those minutes this season anyway, for the rest of this season, that John Carlson would have been taking up. Again, we'll get into this more in just a second, but this is like, there's no other way to say it. It's a massive downgrade on John Carlson, obviously, for the rest of this season. But I do think that, like, the Caps are obviously not only thinking about this season when they're making these moves. They're quite obviously and quite clearly thinking about the future. They apparently seem to have given up a little bit on this season, or at least management has. But yeah, so Liljegren coming back from the San Jose Sharks in exchange for a fourth round pick. So not a lot given up there by the Caps. And then the last trade that we had come down, which I don't even have the screenshot here for. The last trade coming down, of course, was the aforementioned one for David Kampf. That was just a sixth round pick going back to the Vancouver Canucks for Kampf from the Caps. So yeah, just a fourth round pick and a sixth round pick out the door in total there for Timothy Liljegren and David Kampf. So yeah, not a lot of assets going out the door for the Caps, which is nice, low cost, but also not a lot of oomph being retained in these deals here in terms of what you're actually getting back to your roster here. So yeah, I don't know, where do we want to start with this, Sunny? Like, do we want to I mean, I guess just like start with John Carlson. Just give me like what you were feeling first of all, and then we'll kind of get into the actual hockey side of things.
Well, it's kind of like, obviously you're sad, and I'm also disappointed because, like, I feel like we got the short end of the stick in so many ways, because like Backstrom got injured, and then there wasn't a fully, like, knowing that he's coming back, so it was just like he disappeared, kind of almost like he's not here anymore. Then there was Oshie with his injuries and, like, issues with his health, and that caused him to no longer be able to play for us. So he's apparently on injured reserve. So it's like, so we didn't really get any closure for both those players. And there was no closure, I guess you could say, also for Kuznetsov, in my opinion. It was just like, we traded him, but it was kind of like whatever. And then at the point of now Carlson, like, it's just like, that was even worse, because it's just like, no, they wouldn't do that. And then boom, joke's on you, we would. And I'm just like, where is the closure here, people? Where? So I think that's just my reaction. And it's just, I feel for Ovi because it's his guys, like, like Backstrom, Oshie, Carlson, they're all gone. And that's like within the span of like 2 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's his guys, and now he's surrounded by great young players, but at the same time, like, you'd think he'd be able to at least retire or be on the team with those guys before he ends his career. You know what I mean? So it's a tough one.
It did pretty much come down out of almost nowhere, this John Carlson one. Like, I know there was a few rumblings, like a few of the insiders were kind of being like, "Oh, I wonder if I wonder if the Caps would think about it because he's going to be a UFA at season's end." But they were just basically wondering out loud, like, I wonder. That's the Elliot Friedman special, right? So yeah, there was some wondering going on and some musings from some of the insiders, but none of them seemed to actually think that it was going to happen. In fact, a few of them had tweeted out that it was not going to happen. They said no way. That seemed to be the consensus, that the Caps just would not do that. And John Carlson didn't want it to happen, and yet here we are. So it did kind of come out of nowhere in a lot of ways, and I think that you hit the nail on the head there. Like, from an emotional standpoint, it does feel like we have been, as fans, kind of cheated, robbed, whatever phrasing that you want to use, in the send-offs for a lot of these like franchise players that we've had and that we've been so lucky to have for so long. Like, we've been so blessed. All of these guys wanted to stay here, stayed here for their entire careers. And we got, so many good decades out of them, right? Got a Stanley Cup, obviously, as well, which is, of course, the ultimate goal. So, but yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying. Like, it does feel like we've been kind of cheated, robbed, whatever you want to say. I mean, the Backstrom one sucked. Like, he was there one day and then he was gone the next day. And it was like, all of a sudden he's on long-term injured reserve forever and he's never going to play for us again. So we didn't get a proper send off there, obviously. TJ Oshie, same thing. Like, he goes to LTIR, he never comes back. We didn't get a proper send off there as well. And now John Carlson, like, he's injured in that game right before the Olympic break. And then we go through the whole Olympic break and like we come back, we play a few games. He's still on the shelf. He's still injured. He still hadn't played a game for us here after the Olympic break. And all of a sudden he is gone. And no one thought that that was going to be the last time that we're going to see John Carlson in a Washington Capitals jersey. So it's a little bit jarring, a little bit shocking, for sure. And yeah, I just want to get to some of these comments here because we've got some comments coming in. Let's see. Can you see those on there too?
Yep, I can.
You can see them too? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have got Chris. He says, first of all, he says, "Good evening, ladies." Good evening, sir. And then he says, as a Ducks fan, I'm so glad that Anaheim Ducks got John Carlson. You should be. Definitely, you should be excited, man. And he says, and I'm sorry that the Capitals have let go of a Caps legend and a Stanley Cup champion to the West Coast. Yeah, I could not agree with you more. I think that this is such a great ad for the Anaheim Ducks. Like, I think it's just a phenomenal pickup for them, honestly. He's still a number one defenseman. He's at least a number two. He's got nearly 50 points this season, and he's missed some games. So still puts up points like a number one defenseman for sure. He's a better two-way defender than a lot of people give him credit for sure. And he can help out quarterbacking the Ducks power play for sure, like their second unit at least, right? So he's going to help out in a lot of areas. And then like that's just the on-ice stuff, right? A big thing that you get with John Carlson as well is the off-ice, the leadership. I think everybody could tell today, like just listening to that Caps locker room, listening to the sound bites and the quotes coming out of there and seeing their faces on the video, like it was gut wrenching. Like these guys being,
you got Tom Wilson crying.
I know, they're just like gutted, shredded, like just crushed. And I don't blame them. So it's it really sucks. But for the Anaheim Ducks, it's a really exciting pickup because you with John Carlson, not only, like I said, you get the on ice production and everything that he can do for you on the ice, but you get the off ice leadership as well. And that's an area where he's really, really strong as well. So it's a great pickup for the Anaheim Ducks. Mojo Rider 8455, one of my absolute favorite commenters on my YouTube channel there, says something needed to be done, but it doesn't feel good. I would completely agree with that as well. That about sums it up, doesn't it? Like That's kind of the opinion that I have as well. I'll pull up the trade again here. I just kind of want to switch back and forth between windows here. Because I do just want to talk a little bit more in depth about each of these trades, and especially this one. Like, we'll of course start with the John Carlson one, even though, like I said, that one did occur after the Nic Dowd trade. I mean, both of these are big trades in the sense that both of these guys have been here for a very long time, been great Caps for a very long time, right? But yeah, I mean, like, if we're being honest, right, the John Carlson one is just on a whole other level here from the standpoint of the caliber of player that he is. Obviously, the all-time franchise leader in goals amongst defensemen, all-time franchise leader in assists amongst defensemen, all-time franchise leader in points amongst defensemen, all-time franchise leader in games played amongst defensemen. Like, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on for John Carlson in a Washington Capitals jersey. He basically holds every single D-man record of consequence in the Capitals history books. So, a franchise player, franchise defenseman, likely a Hall of Famer when all is said and done. So yeah, this one hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it hurts. Like, so Sonny, yeah, I mean, I'll let you take it away here. And then, like I said, you just say whatever you want to say, and then I'll try to come in afterwards and kind of break this thing down logically for Caps fans, try to make sense of this one for people from a business and future building standpoint for the organization, I guess, because that's about all that we can do at this point.
Like, I mean, yeah, we, in terms of like their playoff standings and stuff, like, I don't think we're like in a position of like how the Leafs and other teams that are like further down the standings. Like, I feel like this is like a move. Like, yeah, I get that we needed to make some moves, but like, did we need to make it right now? Like, was there a necessity to get rid of Carlson at this moment in time? Like, you could have just, I don't know, my opinion, waited it out, see how we ended up in the playoffs or not in the playoffs, and then from there, I guess, decide from there.
The problem being like that he was going to be an unrestricted free agent. Of course, they absolutely could have re-signed him if they wanted to. Like, everybody knows that he didn't want to go anywhere. He made that very clear. He made it very clear that he was willing to take a sizable hometown discount to stay here. And I don't think that that's going to be off the table, by the way, but we'll see. We'll get to that. But yeah, for now, he's gone. And I mean, yeah, it's just the UFA thing, right? Like, they couldn't, if they wanted to get something for him, and that's the thing. Like, we don't know what is in the heads of Chris Patrick and others in the Capitals organization. We don't know if they intended to re-sign him or not. If they didn't, then this makes sense, right? Because you're not in a playoff spot right now. They're close to a playoff spot. I think that's what had a lot of the insiders and analysts, pretty confused, was like, everyone on television today was saying, like, they're only 4 points out. Like, what the hell are they doing? But yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to just kind of be realistic about your team, or at least about the season that your team is having. I've been kind of saying it all season. Like, it's been pretty clear from really the very beginning of this season that this just was not going to be the Caps year with all of the injuries that they had, like, right off the bat. And it's just continued to pile on throughout the season. So it's been pretty clear, in my opinion, pretty much all season, that it wasn't going to be their year. So from that standpoint, I can see where it makes sense. Like, yeah, you're only 4 points out, but you kind of just, like, you be realistic about where you're at, and you make this decision because you kind of err on the side of, even if we make up those 4 points and we get into the playoffs, like, are we an actual threat to actually go anywhere, do anything, win anything? Or is it just like a first round and hope to make the second round kind of scenario? Yeah. So in that sense, I can see where it does make sense. Like, I mean, getting a first round pick back is nothing to sneeze at all. Like, this is, I mean, it's a very good return. Like, that's not, I know what a lot of people want to focus on, because a lot of people are just really pissed off that John Carlson was traded today. But yeah, I mean, it's like, there's so much to talk about with this one. It's just like I literally said to you a few days ago, right? And I believe that I tweeted it as well. So it is out there in the void that is the internet for all to see. I've got receipts, as the kids say. But I had said that since teams were reportedly calling the Caps on Carlson and asking what it would take to get him, expressing interest in him, I had said that, hey, you know what? It's not our year. It hasn't been our year pretty much right from the get-go on this season, like I said, with all of the injuries. So given that it is not our year, and given that we know that Carlson only wants to sign in Washington, and we know that because he has said that on numerous occasions, and with some of those occasions being very recent. And so I had just said, like, hey, you know what? Like, why don't you do it? Why don't you trade him? Like, trade him for an absolute haul. And I had said that there would need to be a first-round pick involved for that to make sense. But yeah, I mean, trade him for a haul, and then in a few short months, when this season's over, he can book his return flight right back here and just turn right around and come right on back here, right? And re-sign with the Caps like we all know that he wants to, and finish his career here. And so yeah, that was kind of what I was saying and thinking a few days ago. I did not think in a million years that Chris Patrick would have the coconuts to be able to go out and do that. I did not think that he had the balls for that, I'll be frank. But yeah, I mean, to me, it made sense if you could stomach it. But I mean, sitting here now, like, I mean, yeah, like it sounded so easy and so logical and so rational and so calm when I said it the other day. And of course, now that it's here and it's happened, I hate it. Like, I mean, we've got Tom Wilson, one of the toughest guys in all of hockey. He's out there in front of the cameras crying real tears over this, over John Carlson, and that makes me cry real tears. Seeing him like that, it's gut wrenching. And we've got Alex Ovechkin sounding like someone just whacked his puppy in cold blood. Like, we've got Spencer Carberry waxing poetic about how it wasn't so much him teaching John Carlson as it was John Carlson teaching him. And I'm going to be honest, like, the whole thing makes me just want to go lay down in the driveway and you just back the car up right over me. Like, that's how I feel right now. It sucks. It sucks. Like, it's the right move from an organizational standpoint. 100%. I get it. It's the right move from a future standpoint, but that doesn't make it suck any less when you are a fan, right? We're just fans here. And those two things can coexist, unfortunately. Like, something can be the right thing and it can still suck at the same exact time. And that's what is happening here right now. Now, like I said, getting a first-round pick and a third-round pick is a great return for a 36-year-old on an expiring deal. That is undeniable. It's a great return. And of course, like, the elephant in the room here, and the really hilarious thing in all of this, is that I can very easily see a scenario, like I said, where John Carlson does come right back here in July. Given that we know that he absolutely did not want to leave and that he's an unrestricted free agent at season's end. This could easily be a scenario where we just got a first-round pick and a third-round pick for essentially renting out 2 to 3 months of our franchise defenseman, right? Like, that could be what this is. And if it turns out that that is what this is, then it becomes a phenomenal move. If he's right back here in a few months, right? Because then you just essentially, like I said, you got a first round pick and a third round pick for renting out a few months of John Carlson. Like, that's amazing. But of course, like, we have to play devil's advocate here as well. Let's say that he doesn't come back. I honestly don't think that the Capitals are going to be too concerned about losing his 50 to 60 points from the back end, and not because that's not a lot of points. That is a lot of points for a defenseman in the National Hockey League.
For that age.
Not even for that age, for anyone. And I mean, Johnny has done that consistently for us, like, forever now. But I just don't think that they're going to be too concerned about that from an offensive standpoint, because they have got super prospect Cole Hudson coming likely in a matter of weeks, right? But I do think that where they are going to miss Johnny a lot and where he's going to be pretty irreplaceable is going to be in the locker room. Like, he's just been such an exemplary leader for so many years now, such a phenomenal teammate. And as Tom Wilson said this morning, you just cannot replace a guy like that in the locker room. And so, yeah, I mean, like, when you combine the loss of John Carlson and the loss of the next guy here that we're going to talk about next, in terms of, moving forward in this season and trying to make the playoffs in this season. Like, remember, they are only 4 points out, right? But moving ahead in this season, I just think that, losing these two guys combined is just really, really, really demoralizing for the team. And I think that that's going to be hard to come back from this season. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you think that this is something that they can get over for this season and they can make up those 4 points and get in a playoff spot. But I just think it's going to be really tough, not only because of what you've lost on the ice, but because I just feel like that is so demoralizing. Like, essentially, you're a general manager. I know he came out and he said today,
made a fake statement.
Yeah, like, oh, we still believe in these guys. We still believe that they can make the playoffs and they can go on a run and they can do damage in the playoffs and all this. It's complete bullshit, dude. Like, you quit on the team today is what you did. And it makes sense. I get it. Like I said, from a future standpoint, these are the right moves. It makes sense. It's fine. But, like, don't come out
and say that
after the fact and just lie. Like, come on, man. We still believe that you can make it. If you believe that they could make it, you do not go trading your number 1 or number 2 defenseman, whether you want to say it's John Carlson, or whether you want to say that it was John Carlson, or whether it's Jacob Chikrin now. But yeah, that's not a player that you go out and trade if you're believing that you can go on a run in the playoffs. So.
Well, also, like, I don't know if you watched the press conference. I haven't finished watching it, but I did watch half of it so far. I don't know how McClellan used to handle the media. Like, I haven't really watched much of his press conferences, and I don't know how he would react to a question like this. But one of the questions that was given was, how do you take the reaction of the fans? Essentially asking, Chris Patrick, with all that happened with John Carlson, what do you say to the fans? And he literally had nothing to say. He's just like, well, no comment. And then he goes, well, that's essentially saying it's business, and my job is to make the team better and a cup contending team. And, that's it. That's what his statement
I mean,
is.
he's not wrong. He's not wrong in what he's saying, but I would still like you to have a comment for us, the fans.
That's what I'm saying. At least something. Like, what the fuck is that? I'm just like, you're gonna be like, it'll be tough for the fans. We had something like along the lines of nope, just cut right to the part where it's like, well, too bad for you guys. I mean, it's business kind of thing. It's just like, what the fuck was that, man? I like I said, I've never seen McClellan's press conference, so I don't really know how you'd handle questions like that. But that was just like stone cold. It's just like, wow, man. Like, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, Robbie's saying, I actually forgot that we could do this, but we can put the comments on the screen, which is pretty sick. So let me just show this here. So our good friend Robbie Gross said, I mean, what are they supposed to say? It's over. No one come to any of the games. I mean, that would be the truth, right? So it's, of course they're not going to say that, but, yeah, no, it's just, I just don't like when a general manager or like, and I mean, maybe we overthink this because like we live in Canada and up here, like hockey is so like, it's the big sport up here that's like hyper scrutinized, right? So we're used to like the shows that we watch up here, like whether it's on TSN or Sportsnet or whatever, like this is what people on TV up here are doing. Like they hyper scrutinize these things like way more than we're doing right now. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't like when a general manager or a coach or whoever, like an owner, anybody, it's just like your fans aren't stupid, dude. Like, like we know that you're not trying to win this year. Like you don't need to, like you could just give it to us straight. Like we don't need like a letter like the New York Rangers send out every second year, like, but just some truth, like just because if you were to give him truth serum today, 100% he doesn't think that this team can win a cup this season. That's why he made these trades, which again, I have no problem with that. Yeah, I don't think that they are, destined to win a cup this season either. I probably would have made the same moves. I even suggested making these moves, like I said, a few days ago, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. This is kind of what I was saying they should do. Like they should trade out some of these veteran guys for draft picks or for prospects or whatever, younger assets, future assets, things that they can then turn around and flip later in the offseason. They didn't get anything done at the deadline here, but in the offseason, they can turn around and flip a lot of these things for younger roster players, right? So, like, it's a good strategy. We've seen it work here already in the last few years. They've done this many times over and over again now with the, acquiring draft picks and then flipping them for young roster players. They're good at it. It's a good strategy. But just like the fans are smart, you don't have to come out and put on a face and lie to them. Like, yeah, maybe it's a white lie. I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, it's just like the fans aren't stupid. Like you can just tell us 2 + 2 is 4. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and again, maybe I'm like being hypercritical, like scrutinizing too much because we're used to that up here. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's,
yeah, that's true.
Like I said, it's all fine with me because at the end of the day, I think John Carlson's like all of these reporters, they're all acting as if like he's played his last game as a Washington Capital, and it's so dramatic. I don't think he has. I'm sorry. I think he's going to be right back
media
here
likes to make
months.
everything dramatic, as we know.
Well, it would be dramatic if it were his last game. I just don't think it is his last. I just don't think it is his last game as a Washington Capital. No, we don't know. I don't know. You don't know. None of these reporters know. It's just a feeling that I have. Like, I don't think that we've seen the last of John Carlson in a Washington Capitals jersey. And I hope that we haven't. I hope that he's back in a few months, like I said, on a hometown discount, team friendly deal.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. He's still a really, really, really good player. Like I was just saying to Chris there, the Ducks fan, like they've got a really good one here. Robbie's saying essentially the same thing here. Just pop this up here. He says, plus he could come back to us on a team friendly 1 to 2 year deal in 3 months if he still wants to retire here. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm thinking is going to happen. And I hope that it does because, it's been rough today. It's not a lot of fun when this is the type of it's fun when your team is buying, unless they're shipping out, like, I'm talking buying like good buying. I'm not talking like sending out prospect Philip Forsberg for aging Martin Erad. That's not what I'm talking about. But good buying. It's fun when your team is doing good buying at the deadline. It's not always so much fun, when they're selling off franchise players. So the Nic Dowd trade, just wanted to get your thoughts a little bit more in depth on this one. Nic Dowd, obviously, like, he hasn't been here as long as John Carlson. Almost nobody has, other than Alex Ovechkin. John Carlson, 17 seasons he was with us. That's crazy. I said that to a few people today. I'm like, I can't believe that it had been that long already. It just flew by. 17 seasons, and Nic Dowd, 8 seasons he was here already. So, Sonny, just give me your thoughts, just as we say goodbye to Nic Dowd, just, what are your thoughts on him, his time here? What are you going to miss about him? And did you like this trade? Can you at least, maybe I should word it like this, can you at least appreciate the return that they were able to get for a 35-year-old fourth liner?
Yeah, no, I think we could all agree that with his age and his performance, I think it was getting to a point where, and not just this year, actually, just the last couple of years, his decline has been obviously, pretty prevalent. But like you mentioned, like, there's a couple things around it. Like, the player on the ice is also different than the player in the room. Like, he might not be performing to his edge, but at the same time, like you said, he did bring a lot of, team caliber to the, just being able to be the team guy and the team leader in so many different ways. And I really think he was like the fourth line guy, like, meaning like he he defined the fourth line for so many years. Like, there was no fourth line without Nic Dowd. Remember when it was Nic Dowd and Hathaway? Like, they were like two crazy, like,
Yeah, awesome line.
that was an awesome pairing for the fourth line. And I remember that. And that's when it came out. Like, remember Nic Dowd being referred to as, like, you mentioned it so many times, a penguin killer. Like, you'd be watching Penguins versus Washington. Like, you never have to worry about Crosby on the ice when you have Nic Dowd taking the face off against him. You know what I mean? So, you never have to hold your breath because he'd win the face off. And sure enough, but yeah, no, with his time here, he definitely did what he needed to do, and definitely going to be missed for sure, I think, in the locker room, but obviously not just on the ice, but in the locker room. And as we know, the Capitals team themselves, they're like brothers, I mean, like, we see them, like, snippets of them in the locker room and stuff like that, but you can tell when a team is actually, like, together, you know what I mean, like, versus a team, like, you can see it on the ice, but you can also see it, like, off the ice, I guess you could say, in the way they speak about each other. Like, when you compare, like, other teams and how they talk about their teammates and stuff like that, it's almost like they're not that close, but it seems like it's a pretty tough blow, for sure, for the teammates in regards to not just losing Nic Dowd, but Carlson. It's like, it's bad enough having to lose Nic Dowd, but then also having to now deal with Carlson, like you said. It's going to be like,
I feel like
it's like a morning in the locker room, and it's going to be pretty hard to concentrate on playing hockey, to be quite honest, for the rest of the season with those two blows. It is what it is. Like, if Alex Ovechkin reacted like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a blow to the heart. You know what I mean?
I feel like the Nic Dowd one was like the warm up, like the appetizer.
Yeah.
Like, that was Chris Patrick kind of like just poking them with, like, just like a medium sized stick. Like, here, I'm just gonna poke you. Here, does that hurt? Okay, now I'm gonna run you over with this fucking bus. Like,
Yeah.
And that was John Carlson 12 hours later or whatever it was. No, it's a brutal day in that locker room for sure. I never thought that I would see Tom Wilson, of all people, be brought to
crying. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was hard to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I do think, like, with this Nic Dowd trade, like, it's a really good return for, like I said, a 35-year-old fourth liner who has clearly, like you said, been on the decline. This season for sure, last season probably as well. I've actually been banging this drum since earlier this season, that they needed to move him, just because I thought that, like, he has really been on the decline, first of all, and second of all, since he is on the decline, they needed to free up some lineup spots here for some of these younger players that they're going to have coming up in the nenext couple of seasons here. So I thought that this was a move that they had to make, and I think that they got a pretty good return here. With the second round pick and the third round pick, and then a goalie prospect as well. Not sure if he'll ever turn into anything. That's pretty hit or miss with the goaltending prospects, but it's another asset that you get, and certainly the second and third is a great return. So the underrated thing about these trades too, where you're acquiring so many draft picks, is that if you want to, you can use some of these picks, like I said, that you're accumulating, to then flip for younger roster players, right? Which, like I said, is obviously something. It's obviously something that this Caps management group has done in the past, in recent years, and they've been very good at it, right? Like, they've been able to acquire a lot of really good young players by doing just that. Racking up picks, selling off your older UFAs, and then flipping some of those picks for young roster players. So it's a strategy that has worked extremely well for them. So I don't really see any reason why you would change it now when it's been working, right? So yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like I said, it's not fun. But anytime that you can rack up, draft capital and assets like that, it's always a good thing, especially, like I said, for a 35-year-old who is on the decline, frankly. So more picks, more assets coming in to Washington here. And then we'll pull this one up here. Don't you laugh at Timothy Liljegren. Don't you laugh at him.
Oh man.
But no, I'll start with this one here, because, like, we're just talking about flipping picks for younger roster players, right? That's exactly what they've done here. Again, Timothy Liljegren, 26-year-old right shot defenseman, like I said. So he is young. He's a right shot, can take up some of those minutes on the right side that Carlson was always, accounting for out there. Certainly he's nowhere near the player that John Carlson is. I don't think anyone would say that. But it's a nice young player that you get back. I know a lot of Caps fans have actually liked Liljegren for this team in the past, and have kind of wanted them to make a move for him in the past. So I know there are at least some Caps fans out there who are happy about this. But yeah, I don't really have any problem with this move. Like it's a 4th round pick that you send back the other way. Like it's essentially nothing that you're sending back. And you're getting a pretty decent young defenseman. So I don't know what you think about this one. If you have any other different thoughts, or I know you're not impressed because he's not John Carlson, but is there any part of you that can at least understand?
You know what? Okay, so I'll this is my take. From what I've seen him, I didn't watch him when he was on the Sharks, but I did watch him when he was on the Leafs. And as we know, the Caps development team has been pretty good at taking guys and fixing them. I don't know if this is a project. If they're taking Liljegren to fix him and make him work with the Caps, I don't know if that's what it is. But when we saw him on the Leafs, or at least when I saw him on the Leafs, I didn't see anything impressive on the back end, to be quite honest. So that's kind of what my hesitation is. If he comes in, and I'm not going to base it on the games that he's going to be playing now, but considering next year,
that's good, because I think the team's about to be a tire fire for the next 19 games here.
I'll have to make my opinion based on what happens next year and how they play. There's not enough games to kind of be like, this works or this doesn't work. So we'll just have to see. But I'm very hesitant right now. But I'm like I said, the development team's done a pretty good job at like I said, taking players and kind of making them work with the Caps. Like Rasmus Sandin, as you know, former Leaf, was amazing.
And Liljegren's former defense partner in Toronto.
Yeah. So I guess they're reunited, as people have been talking about. So we'll see. But like I said, we'll see. And even for example, Thompson from Vegas too, right? So, it didn't work for them. We took him, and LTs are
Dubois.
Yeah, Dubois. So there's Strome. There's been so many players. Where Caps have taken them, and it works for Caps. So I can't really say that I'm laughing about it just because, like I said, it's a player that was on a former Leaf team, and
you hate the Leafs. That's what it is.
No, it's just their way of being able to develop players is terrible. Look at Easton Cowan, for God's sakes. Oh my God.
But see, look at what Rasmus Sandin looked like when he was in Toronto.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Leafs fans were all over him for he's soft, he's a turnover machine, he's this, he's that, and he hasn't been any of that here.
No. So I mean,
he actually throws some pretty big hits for his size. He plays
Chychrun's
tough.
another one. Chychrun's another one from Ottawa.
Yeah.
You know what
another forgotten, unwanted guy that is a Norris Trophy candidate now. So
maybe someone's gonna put a sock in my mouth next year when we see him turn it up. I don't know, but anyways, that's just how I feel about it.
I don't even know if he'll be here next year. He's a UFA at the end of the season.
Oh, right. But, right. So anyways, we'll see.
But Trevor Van Riemsdyk is also a UFA at the end of the season. So I could see if it works out with Liljegren, I would definitely think that they would keep him and let TVR go, because TVR is quite a bit older now. So I actually thought that I thought 100% that they were going to trade TVR at this trade deadline, and they didn't. So
there's also Trevor Lindgren too that they didn't trade, and they have him still too. So
that one is going to bother me a lot if they end up losing Clay Stevenson on waivers next training camp. So we'll see what happens in the off season.
Oh, off season, yeah, okay. So they'd have to get rid of him in the off season, otherwise you'd have to.
Well, they would still have all off season to be able to make a move, but it's going to be pretty inexcusable to me if you are getting
rid of Good.
goaltender of Clay Stevenson's caliber that several teams want, and you just start losing him for free on waivers. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens in the offseason. But like I said, I don't really have any problem with this Timothy Liljegren trade. I think this is just them trying to get a right shot defenseman back to take up some of the minutes for the rest of the season that John Carlson would have otherwise been playing. So then the final deal of the day comes down. I love how God, it was funny on Twitter how all of the beat reporters were like, they're like, oh wait, because they don't know what the moves are, right? They're just being told by the team that, like, hold on,
there's more.
Wait, there's more coming. There's more in the pipeline here. So like all of the beat reporters were like being told that there's more for the Caps. Like they're making more moves. They're still dealing. Like there are more announcements coming, and they actually said announcements plural. And so everyone's like, oh my God, what's it going to be like? And everyone's kind of getting all excited and nervous, and like, is it going to be something really big that's good or really big that's bad or what? And then it comes down that it's David Kampf, and I'm just like, you saw me. We were watching it together. I could not. I was hysterically laughing. Like I had just at that point, I'm like
tears.
I had tears running down my cheeks because I found it so funny. Like I was just like, it's like this big announcement is coming and it's so dramatic, and then it's David Kampf. Like,
even the TSN guys were making fun of it.
I know, it was actually that's what I was just gonna say is like see, I have all these screenshots up here for all of these other trades. In all seriousness, I didn't grab the screenshot for the David Kampf one because I just didn't have time because it came down right at the last minute. But I was going to say, kind of jokingly in jest, that I'm not even going to dignify this acquisition by giving it its own trade window thingy here in our fancy new live streaming setup. So no separate window for you, David Kampf. When you score more than 2 goals this season, then maybe you can get your own window.
God.
But all you really need to know, all of you Caps fans out there, is that when this trade came down, when news of this trade broke, okay, when it was read aloud for the first time on air up here in Canada, you guys know that we're in Canada up here. When it was read aloud for the first time on air up here in Canada on TSN on their trade deadline show by a bunch of analysts and insiders who spent years covering David Kampf while watching him play for the Toronto Maple Leafs. All you need to know, folks, all you need to know is that those analysts and insiders who spent years watching him, they all broke out laughing when they heard
become the joke.
When they heard that somebody was actually trading for David Kampf, they all broke out laughing. I'm not even Sunny was there. She can tell you. They all broke out laughing. When these people who have been in the game, worked in the game for so long, when they heard that a team was actually, again, acquiring
like, what the fuck?
David Kampf on purpose, trading for him on purpose, not by accident, they burst out into uncontrollable giggles on air. Okay. So that probably tells you all that you need to know about this, like I said, quote unquote acquisition here, if you want to call it that. This one, I got to be honest with you, like the David Kampf one, it sent me over the edge, Sunny. It did. You saw, because we were hanging out, and you like you saw my reaction. It sent me over the edge because I'm just like I said, I could get behind like shipping Nic Dowd out. I was actually saying like weeks in advance, months in advance, even that we should do that. Not only because like he was getting older, he's on the decline, all of these things, but primarily because I wanted them to clear up a lineup spot or two. Yeah, for some of these young kids to come up and finally start getting a look here. And so what did they do today? They trade Nic Dowd. They clear up a lineup spot. Great. Fucking 10 seconds later, they fill that lineup spot with a 31-year-old David Kampf. Like, I do not understand it. I cannot get behind this one. I don't care. I know some people are really defensive about Chris Patrick. I'm not one of them. I
I don't
call it
even
like
know
I see it.
why.
I do not get this at all. Like, okay, so you want a fourth line center to take Dowd's minutes for the rest of the season because why? Because you think we're going to make the playoffs and go win the cup? Like, call up Ilya Protas and just give him a look. Call up some of these guys from Hershey and just give them a look. Let them get their feet wet in the NHL now so that come next season, when we need them and we need them to play a role, they'll be more ready. They won't be as nervous and hesitant. And because you see, like when all of these young guys come up, it takes a minute for them to get used to the NHL game and to get comfortable.
Yeah, we saw Ryan
playing in the
Leonard last
NHL.
year.
I
Or
was
not
just
last
gonna
year, the year
say,
before.
I was just gonna say we saw it 100% with Ryan Leonard. He was a completely different player when he first came up at the end of that season versus what he's been this season. Completely different player. Like, if you can get them up a little bit earlier and let them get their feet wet now, they'll be so much more ready for next season. Then we can go into next season rolling. But no, gotta have David Kampf.
I'm
Gotta
reading these
have David
comments. I'm reading these comments.
Got to have a 31-year-old David Kampf. Gotta have him. Gotta have him. Cannot live without his 2 goals on the season. Can't live without it.
Read the
My
comments.
goodness. I forgot the comments are there. Let me go back. Hold on. Are they chirping me?
Yeah, no. There's 4 more. There's 4 comments here. With
Let's
Space
see the
Wolf
chat
Painter.
here. Let me put these up here. Hold on. So Space Wolf Painter. Space Wolf Painter says the goalie we got from Vegas is the goalie version of Kampf. LOL. Oh dear. Is that true or are you just trolling me? Because if that's true, that is no bueno.
Scary.
That is not what we need.
No.
I did take a peek at his numbers though, and they're not very good. So I don't know if that's a very good prospect that we got back there. But I do know that Vegas, they were at their like overall contract limit. Like they had the max number of NHL contracts that you could have. So they needed to move out an NHL contract in order to be able to take Nic Dowd back. So I think that probably this goalie was just kind of like a throw-in just to make the deal work kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, anytime that you're comparing him to David Kampf, that does not make me happy. That's not what I want to hear, Space Wolf Painter. Not at all. But great comment. Excellent comment. Man, I love this streaming thing. It's so cool how you can see everybody's comments in real time. Oh, we've got
couple more.
Blue Liner. We've got Blue Liner checking in. That is our good friend Gil. He says Liljegren trade, cheap Carlson replacement. Yeah, that's basically what I was saying. Like it's just somebody to fill his minutes for the rest of the season. He is UFA at the end of this season too, so who knows if they'll even keep him around or not. Like I said, I think like if he plays well, I could definitely see them keeping him around because Trevor Van Riemsdyk's, getting so much older now. So I would assume and I would hope that they're going to let TVR go at the end of the season. Like I said, I thought they were going to trade him at the deadline here and they didn't, but I would assume that they're going to let him walk at the end of the season. So maybe Liljegren, if he plays well, he could be a guy that you keep around that's quite a bit younger, right? And then Gil's got another one here. He says Kampf trade equals really bad, really cheap Dowd replacement. That is so rude to Nic Dowd. No, I'm just kidding, Gil. But yeah, that's basically what it is. I
summed it up.
Yeah, I can see and I can understand that that's what they're going for. I'm just saying that I don't like it and I don't agree with it because I would rather give that ice time and that opportunity and that shot and that look to one of the kids in Hershey.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wanted out of moving Nic Dowd. I wanted a lineup spot freed up and one of the kids to get a look before the end of the season. As so many teams who are on their way to missing the playoffs do, they bring up their kids from the AHL, they give them a look, they get them comfortable in the NHL, and then they're ready to roll for the next season, and they can just take off running, right? But yeah, it doesn't appear that that's what the Caps are going to do with this acquisition of David Kampf. So yeah, oh man, we've got more comments here. Let's pull up some more here. So, Space Wolf Painter writes in again and says, "Have feeling that's what they're doing, bringing the guys up from Hershey and putting these scrap heap guys on the Bears to fill the missing spots." Dear God, I hope you're right. Like, I hope that you're exactly right. I hope that that's exactly what they're doing. I hope that they're going to bring up the guys from Hershey and send David Kampf to Hershey.
Well, I saw they brought Marie Shevchenko up from Hershey Bears today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that too. That was after the deadline had closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope that you're right, Space Wolf Painter, because that would make me feel a lot better. I want to see some of them, like I said, get a shot, get a look, start getting comfortable, so that when we potentially need some of these guys to play a role next season, they're more ready for it, right? And then we've got one more comment here from Space Wolf Painter. Says, "Oh yeah, it was def a contract move for that goalie. Caps did them a favor." Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking when I saw that, because it seemed like Vegas wasn't potentially wasn't going to be able to make that deal work without us taking a contract back. So yeah, essentially just doing them a favor so that they can take Nic Dowd. Lucky them. But yeah, I mean, we do get a second and a third back, so it's at least a pretty decent haul for us. But yeah, I agree. I think that goalie prospect is definitely more so just a contract move, and like you said, just doing them a favor. Oh, we've got one more coming in here. Man, this is so cool. We should use this all the time.
Yeah, it is. I know.
Yeah. Why were we doing it in like such an old school
I have no idea.
lame way? Let's see. Space Wolf Painter says, off subject question. I'll be back home in DC week after next. Not sure if I should go to the Ottawa game or the Jersey game. Jersey game, I'm thinking, because Jack Hughes will be there. Let's see. When do they... Are those both in the same week, I guess?
They must be.
I think they do have a lot of home games coming up. I would probably... I mean, I guess it depends what you're wanting to see, because... Or like the type of game that you're wanting to see, I should say, because I think it would probably be a more competitive game against Ottawa, just because Ottawa's actually like in a position,
for a spot.
Yeah, where they're actually battling for a playoff spot. Whereas New Jersey has just been kind of a lost cause all season. I don't know what the hell is wrong with that team, man. I don't know what is wrong with them. But yeah, New Jersey, they've been kind of a lost cause all season. But yeah, New Jersey, you get to see Jack Hughes. So New Jersey definitely has the more, like, they definitely have more, more star power, more speed for sure. Like, it'll be, like I said, probably more of a run and gun, like more of a fun style game. Whereas the Ottawa game, I think, will probably be more competitive and like puck battles and stuff like that. Yeah. So depends what kind of hockey you want to watch, I guess.
Want to watch Jack Hughes skate around?
What would you choose if you could just go see one of either the Senators or the Devils?
I would pick the Devils.
Devils? Why?
Division. Just because they're in the division. I don't really like watching Ottawa, to be quite honest with you. I find them very boring. That's just my opinion.
Ottawa?
I don't really get excited watching Ottawa, even though they're not my team or in general. I don't feel the type of way when I watch Ottawa. That's all.
I swear to God, it's just anyone who has wronged you in terms of like anything to do with the Leafs. You're just like,
what are you talking about?
Because the Senators lost in the first round last year.
No, that's nothing to do. I'm honestly, well, they weren't going to win that series, so it's whatever. But like, no, I'm literally saying, I just find them boring to watch, even when they're versing anybody else. I'm just like, this is boring. Like, shut it off. Like, Like it's not anything. So that's just my opinion.
Yeah, the only unfortunately the only games that we get to go to up here really are like when they come to play the Canucks here in Vancouver.
Canucks.
But been to some other towns as well. Like been to see them play against
Calgary,
the Flames in Calgary a couple times.
Vegas,
Yeah, we did see never forget that one, obviously. We did see game
memorable one.
5 in Vegas, live and in person against the Golden Knights when they won the Stanley Cup. And then we saw at Madison Square Garden as well. They beat the Rangers. That was actually the game against the
Oh
Rangers.
yeah, Madison Square Garden. I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah, if you all remember, that was the game against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden where
Yeah, that was
it
lit.
went to a shootout, right? And then it was the one where Alex Ovechkin had his stick, like it was like was it his stick was slashed out of his hands or the goalie threw his stick? I don't
No, I
remember.
think it was slashed out of his hands, if I remember correctly.
Something happened to somebody's stick on this shootout attempt. And so then Ovechkin got an awarded goal in the shootout, which it was the right call. It was totally the right call. Obviously the Rangers fans at Madison Square Garden didn't like it, but I loved it.
Well worth the money.
Totally. It was the right call, awarded goal, and the Caps win the shootout. And that was a great win at Madison Square Garden.
That was awesome. We have another
comment. Yeah, I got another comment coming. I love this. Space Wolf Painter says, have you been to Cap 1? It's awesome, especially when they used to do the Unleash the Fury stuff. Yeah, I actually have not been to Cap 1 yet, which is crazy to say. I've been meaning to go for so long. And actually, like in 2018, if they had ended up losing that game 5 in Las Vegas, I did have plans to go to game 6 in Washington. I had tickets lined up and everything. But obviously, like, I'm not going to complain that they ended up winning in game 5.
Just to come to watch
I didn't care where, when, how. All I wanted was for them to win. But I still have not been to Cap 1, but I really want to get down there someday. I do wish that I would have got there like while they were doing the Unleash the Fury stuff. They don't do it anymore, hey? Like I haven't heard it in like quite a while. Maybe once in a while, but they used to do it almost every game. I don't know, Sunny, do you know like if there's
no idea?
That? You haven't heard?
No idea. No. Well, I mean, their building looks pretty fucking lit in general, even now when you see them. So, I mean, I would love to be there to watch the games.
No, because you're like you.
Yeah, I'm probably before that. Like I'm after all.
Yeah, like stuff. You came on board to being a Caps fan in like 2016 around there. Yeah, so like 10 years or so. And
even Rock the Red era. Like I was like when I remember getting a t-shirt.
When they had like first started the Rock the Red era, and it was like 2008, 2009, 2010, those seasons, like that building was so loud, like so incredibly loud. It was called Verizon Center then. Yeah, it was they used to call it the phone booth because it's Verizon Center. But yeah, oh my god, it was loud. Like it was, you could hear it through the TV, like you could feel it shaking. Like it was so loud.
That's awesome.
But of course, that's when like the team was by far the highest scoring team in the league, and they were so much fun. And like it was Alex Ovechkin in his prime, Nicholas Backstrom in his prime, Alexander Semin in his prime, Mike Green in his prime. Like they were so much fun.
Yeah,
the Bruce Boudreau days,
divisions, and
the Bruce Boudreau days, run and gun.
So we do have comments here. They said they stopped, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I haven't heard it, like at least through the TV. I haven't heard it in quite some time. And then Space Wolf Painter also says, I've been to 4 or 5 home games and they haven't. Yeah, that sucks. I don't know why they would have stopped it, but I guess just trying to change it up. But it was such a cool thing that they did. Phone booth started when it was MCI Center, but yeah, continued with Verizon. Oh yeah, cool.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It's definitely on the bucket list of mine to get down there. And Hopefully for a playoff game someday. But I don't know. It's like now it's looking like by the time I get down there, Ovechkin might not be there. So I don't know. I don't want to talk about that.
You gotta be down there before he, is like, that's crazy. I've never been to a Caps game as a Caps fan since he's got there. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like the biggest. Like I know everyone says they're the biggest Caps fan ever, but I'm literally like the biggest Caps fan ever.
Like you're like the biggest Caps fan. You can even understand like just like the freakish amount of like things that like you're just like an inside out fan. Like you're like a fan by heart, but then you're a fan by analytics. Like it's crazy. Like,
well, it's kind of cheating though because I have a photographic memory, so so I just read I'll read a stat once and I just remember it forever. So it is kind of cheating. What's this guy got to say? Robbie Gross says she won't ever come here. It's all talk. What is he going off about now? He's got another one here. Let's see. She even knows she has a place to stay on the red line, but I doubt it. LOL. I will make it down there someday. It's only been when did we start talking? It's only been what, 15, 16, 17 years since Robbie and I became friends through the Capitals. Space Wolf Painter says, I'm praying he does one more season, kind of like a goodbye tour. It would be wild if Ovi didn't do that and just left after this season. I know.
That'd be so weird to not even be like, hey, this is my last year. Just dip out and never come back. It's just like that's it.
He just score
almost 1,000 goals and just be like, bye everybody. Like,
it's like as much as the media always like tried to make it sound like he's like some like narcissist me guy, is just not true at all. Like he doesn't actually like that attention, and like he's just not that type of guy that I just feel like he doesn't want that like goodbye tour and all that attention. And like I wish you would. I completely agree with you. Like it's gonna be so wild and so weird if he's just like at the end of the season, he's just like peace out. Like
that's what I mean. I'm just like, what do you mean? Like what?
Like you're literally the greatest goal scorer of all time. You need to give us some advance warning, okay? Like
hey, we need to score these goals and then just like peace out, A-Town. Like bye. Like what?
I need at least a full year to be able to mourn that. Like God. Yeah. Oh, Robbie Gross says, and I can attest to it, I have known you since you were a teenager and you've always been a big Caps fan. This is true. I thought you were gonna say I'm like reading it out loud. I'm reading it out loud and reading it for the first time, so I hadn't read it yet. And I thought you were gonna say, I've known you since you were a teenager and you've always been a big talker. I thought that's what you were gonna say, which would also be true.
I feel like he would like still when like I feel like the rumors were about like him scoring 1,000 goals, and I feel like he's literally almost there. Like he's got what, 922, 923 goals. What was it? I don't even know how many goals.
921, I think now.
Like, I don't know. Like at that point, he would have 950 if he only scored like 30 goals next year, even if he scored that many. I mean, he would never get to 1,000 if that was his last year kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of hard to say.
Well, the thing is that he should have already been well past 1,000, if not for lockouts and all that. So, Space Wolf Painter, we can do a GoFundMe, LOL. No, I don't need people giving me their money. That's okay. I gotta find the time, and now I've gotta find the, I don't know how we want to say that. I don't want to get into political stuff on a on a hockey show, but I've got to find a way to go where my phone is not going to be searched through my entire history, my whole social media history, and like completely vetted and then kept in a cell overnight or whatever happens down there these days.
It's like hold your breath if you go down there. It might be captive for like
But yeah, I
months.
don't want to get into all that now. But it's just so unfortunate that like I know that obviously that's not like the big like the big thing that's wrong with all of that. Like again, I don't want to get into it, but it's unfortunate that the like landscape of like Canada US relations is what it is right now when Ovechkin might be in his final season. Like I really wanted to go to a lot of games this season. It's just not gonna happen. But yeah, no, I appreciate the offer to do the GoFundMe, but I wouldn't want to take money from you fine folks. It's more so just a timing thing. But yeah, I would definitely love to get down there for a game or two someday in the near future. I really hope he plays another season, man. I really hope he plays another season. Like I just yeah, Robbie is saying the same thing here. He says he doesn't want a goodbye season, though. He really isn't that type of guy, though. Why I am so scared he might be done. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, too. Like, he's not like I said, despite what the media says, he's not that, like, flashy, me guy. Like, he's really not. He's always been about the team, and he's still all about the team, and he doesn't like to distract from what's going on with the team as a whole by having the attention on him. You could see last season, even like he's chasing Wayne Gretzky's all-time goals record, and he was just hating every second of the attention that was coming with that. Yeah, like he just didn't want the attention to be on him all season, right? He wanted the attention to be on his first place team and his teammates. So yeah, it's scary. I hope he's not done, but we won't know, I guess, probably until the end of the season at this point. Space Wolf Painter says, yeah, I just think about all the handshake lines Ovi got the team organized to do for like Fleury and stuff, and he doesn't want that for himself. Maybe I'm just in cope mode, lol. Yeah, I know. Like when he did that for Fleury, it was honestly so cool. Like that was one of the coolest things that we saw all season, I thought. And then Kopitar as well. Like when he knows and recognizes that like this is the last time that you're going to compete against this guy, and he has his whole team go over and shake hands and stuff and do the handshake line. Like that's so cool. Like I would hope that he would want that for himself because he deserves it. And also like I think us fans deserve it and we want it, right? Like we want to I don't know that I could handle it emotionally watching that every game for an entire season of like everybody saying their goodbyes to him. It would be really, really sad and tough. But I mean, it's better than him just like slipping out to Russia at the end of the season and like never seeing him again.
Peace out.
Yeah, exactly. Robbie says he is 2 away from total 1,000 playoff and regular season. And I think one could be happy with that. Yeah, no kidding. Like 2 more goals to get to 1,000 total goals. Like that's playoff goals and regular season goals combined. But yeah, 1,000 goals. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Insane. And then Robbie says he thinks people should be celebrated, but I think it's tough when he is in the spotlight. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Like he's all about his teammates, right? And he's all about everyone else other than himself. And like he wants his teammates to be in the spotlight and get all the credit, and he doesn't want the spotlight on him, right? So
well, look at all the interviews. He's barely done like any post games this year. Like he maybe did like 3 or 4 total for all the games that they've played so far. Like it's mainly actually been Wilson, Strome.
Yeah. They're definitely grooming Wilson to be the next 100%. Captain for sure.
Like he's literally 100%. Been in most of the press conferences and stuff like that. So yeah, 100%. So
yeah, we'll see.
Even LT has been doing more press or post game interviews.
I got to get LT on here someday with that connection that I have.
Oh yeah, that would be
connection that I have so far missed, but that I have in my back pocket for later. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Ovechkin. I can't think about that right now on top of like Carlson.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
It's too much.
It's a bit of a morning going into the weekend. Like, how are you supposed to function tomorrow watching the boys without Carlson? Like, my heart.
I know their game's like bright and early here tomorrow morning because we're on the West Coast, and so I think it's at like 9:30 a.m. here, and it's just like, God, I have to wake up and watch this John Carlson-less Nic Dowd-less Caps team who's just gonna be absolutely devastated to play that game tomorrow.
We got another comment in the thing.
The comments are coming in hot. I love it. This is lively. We got to do this like this all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Jeremy Faulkner says, do the Caps trade up in the draft with their 2 middle first round picks? That's interesting. I would think that they would certainly try. I guess it depends on if there's any dance partner, right? Like if there's any taker for that who would be willing to trade back with you in order to get the extra pick, right? Yeah, I think it would just depend on whether you have a dance partner or not. From the Caps point of view, I would think that certainly you would want to try to do that, because this draft I've heard is like really top heavy in the first round. So the further that you can move up, the better that it's going to be. So
Yeah.
we'll see what they can do with that. But that would be great if they could do that for sure. Robbie says, yeah, he has wanted others to step up because he wants us to do well when he is gone. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely grooming Wilson to be the captain, and grooming
Seems a
some
bit
other guys into some
very much
leadership
this
roles
year.
as well.
Very much this year, as in like, is it like Ovi's last year? You know what I mean? Like how many? Like it's I don't know.
I just love that like Ovechkin's such a team guy that like it's exactly what Robbie just said there. Like he wants the team and the organization to still do well even after he's gone, right? Like everybody keeps like people in the media and even some Caps fans keep assuming that like Ovechkin's been kind of running the show here for the last couple of years, and like he's telling the management what to do and like with trades and things like that. And I just don't think that's the case at all. Like that's not the vibe that I've got at all.
If that was the case, John Carlson wouldn't be gone.
Yeah, like I think Ovi pretty much just like, of course he wants the team to make trades to improve. Like he wants them to acquire people who are going to help the team be good. But I don't think that he's in there like, you have to do this, otherwise this and blah, 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 blah. Like I just don't think that that's the case at all. Space Wolf Painter says, I met Wilson at Bash Boxing last year in June, and he definitely carries himself like a captain. Super cool and nice guy. That's so awesome. I've seen his Instagram stories at that Bash Boxing. That place looks sick. That reminds me of that story do you remember that story that Steve Dangle told about being at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto? He had told this story where he said he was sitting in Scotiabank Arena, like watching a Leafs versus Capitals game. And he said there was these 2 guys behind him, like sitting in the row behind him.
Oh, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
And that they were just giving it to Wilson all game long. And they're like, oh, Wilson, like I can't even say the names that they were calling him. Like, I don't even want to say those on air, but they're just like, cursing at him and like cussing him out and like, calling him all these like super, super brutal names. And Steve Dangle said, so he's listening to these 2 guys cussing Tom Wilson out all game long. And then the 2 guys one of them goes, yeah, but because Tom Wilson's from Toronto, eh? And so one of the guys goes, yeah, but he was actually in my class in high school, and he's actually a super nice dude. And then the other guy goes, oh yeah, I met him I met him at school too. Super nice dude. And so like they're sitting there cussing him out all game, but then like privately, quietly amongst the 2 of them, they're like, oh, but he's so nice though. Like, it was so funny, such a funny story. But that's who he is, right? Like he just seems like a genuinely like super nice, super cool, super down to earth guy. And that's exactly the type of guy, like Space Wolf Painter just said, that you would want to be your captain. So I am 100% on the Tom Wilson for captain train in the post Ovi era. Robbie says, yikes, I almost forgot it was so early. It's brutal here. Yeah, the 9:30 a.m. starts here are a little bit rough. Not gonna lie. It's,
that's fun.
They're fun like when the team is good and playing well, like all of those like Super Bowl Sunday games that they always had like back in the Rock the Red era years, and like the team was awesome and like they would always kick whoever's ass, and like it was just so much fun. It was such a good vibe. When you're going into this one tomorrow morning with like I said, essentially like a morgue of a locker room, like a funeral home of a locker room, just so down on themselves after these trades. I feel like it's not going to be a very good showing, but I could be wrong. They could prove me wrong. Let's hope that they do. I'll just finish up with these comments here, and then we should probably get out of here. It's been an hour and a half already on here. Space Wolf Painter says that, and we always play like garbage in early games.
Yep.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Ah, man, I don't know what that is with the Washington Capitals and matinee games. It's like
Oh
you
my
would think,
God, terrible.
but you would think at some point that you would be like, all right, my morning routine, whatever I'm doing,
It's not working.
is not working. So let's change it up. But yeah, it's been like that for years, like for a decade at least. Like they have sucked in those early matinee games. Let's see. Robbie says, "Welcome to the world of live podcasting. Once you start, it's hard to go back." LOL. Yeah, no kidding. This is like so much better than because
The
it's
videos
always
that we're doing. Yeah.
well, yeah, when you do the podcast and then you just post it, right? And then you're getting everybody's comments like after the fact, but then you're just kind of going and like when you have time, you're just kind of going and replying to like just by text, right? By typing. It's so much better to do it like interactively like this. It's so much more fun. Robbie says, I think that's why he has not said one way or another. He doesn't want to spike ticket prices or tank futures. Yeah, that's true. I saw somebody had posted in one of the Caps groups today that for the Caps' last game of the season right now against the Penguins. Was it against the Penguins? I think it was against the Penguins. Or maybe this was just their last game of the season that is against the Penguins. So like Ovechkin versus Crosby. Nosebleed seats are going for like $250 US each.
Wow.
For nosebleed seats. So evidently, someone thinks that this might be his last season. So Robbie says, I wonder if losing JC74 will help or hurt Ovi staying and how it impacts who we will get in the off season. People might want to come and play with Ovi and take a discount if last year. Yeah, I think like I gotta like reserve having any thoughts on that until I know if Carlson being gone is actually final and for real. Yeah, like is he actually gone or is he just coming right back in a few months? Because I think that will probably, sway opinions one way or another. Because I don't know if I buy this though that like that Carlson not being here would like make Ovi retire. I don't think I buy that. I think that if anything, it's probably the other way around, that maybe if they were not going to re-sign Carlson, it's probably because they have already talked to Ovi and they already know that he's done after this season. That's my thought. Because I think that if you thought he was going to be back, you would still be trying to contend.
Yeah.
Like right now, right? So I don't know. It could go either way. It's so hard to like get inside people's heads and try to figure out what they're thinking. And especially, like I said, when you don't even know if Carlson's actually gone, or if he's going to be right back. I guess we'll wait until July 1st and see what happens. But Robbie says the interview today shows the kind of guy he is. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. Talking about Tom Wilson, right? Like, yeah, Tom Wilson or Ovi. I mean, both of them. It just, there's so much love in that locker room. It's amazing to see. Like, they're literally all like brothers. Like they just have so much genuine love for each other. And you can see they were all really, really torn up today. I loved Tom Wilson's interview today though. Like he gave a really long, really thoughtful interview. And not only talking about John Carlson, but talking about what the team needs to do now moving forward, like playing out the rest of this season. Yeah. Like they're not wanting to give up on the season, right? They still want to keep trying to make the playoffs. So whether they can or not, we'll see, but at least their hearts are in the right place with that. So Robbie says, I got to take Zach with my dad to a Super Sunday game for his first game. That's so sick. Sucks we lost, but they were fun and lots of kids. Yeah, that would be so much fun. Those Super Bowl Sunday games, like I said back in the day, like in the height of the Rock the Red era, there was like the Snow Ovechkin game, they called it, where it was like just a complete like whiteout blizzard. And essentially it was like you should just go watch the highlights. I can't even explain it to you because you weren't around back then. Like you weren't yet big into the Capitals back then.
Was not converted back then.
Yeah, you were you hadn't seen the light yet back then. But Yeah, no, the Snow Ovechkin game. Go watch the highlights of that. It was one of the best games that I have ever seen. Space Wolf Painter says it was cool catching you live. We'll keep an eye out for more of these. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for leaving so many great comments here. This has been so much fun. We should wrap it up here now, but yeah, just thank you guys so much, genuinely from the bottom of my heart, for tuning in here tonight. And yeah, we hope that you'll be tuning in moving forward as well. We'll probably continue with some of these lives because this has been super fun. And last comment here, Robbie says, I was thinking about Tom. That's the hard part. Is I comment in real time and I'm delayed. Also the fun part of live comments. LOL. Yeah, I'm a little bit slow. Little bit
It'll come with practice.
A little bit slow on the trigger here. Well, I forgot the comments were there for like the first
I had to remind you,
and it was like, oh shit! Like here I am telling people that like, oh, come comment on the show, and we'll read them out live on air, and we'll converse and have a good chat and all that. And then I just completely forgot about it for the first half of the episode here, but that's okay. You live and you learn. All right, guys, we will sign off here now. And yeah, I mean, just everyone try to
breathe.
Try to breathe. Try to breathe. Try to keep your heads up. Try to keep your heads held up high, chin up. Just try to keep a positive attitude as much as possible. Don't get too down. Sonny, you have anything that you want to say here? I'm just gonna enter one last ticker here.
Don't know what else to say, but I'll just hold my breath. That's all I can say. I'm just gonna hold my breath.
Hold your breath for what?
just to see what happens.
For making the playoffs, for Carlson coming back in the offseason, for Ovi not retiring, all of the above.
I don't know. This Carlson thing has me shook now, and kind of make me like, is this Obi's last year? Like, if Carlson comes back, then there's a possibility that it's not Obi's last year. But if Carlson's not coming back, then it's like, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Not
so,
great,
yeah,
Bob,
my breath,
as the saying goes. Yeah.
Oh, we got couple more comments. Cole
do we?
Yeah, we do.
Let me see. I'll get to them here. I'm not even quite used to like where the chat button and stuff is yet. Got to get used to it. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Chris says, thank you, ladies, and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, good luck to your Anaheim Ducks, man. I really think that is a really great pickup that they just made for themselves. So yeah, good luck to them. Good luck to you. And hope they can go far in the playoffs. I'll be cheering for John Carlson for sure, and the Ducks. I'm on the Ducks bandwagon now.
Beat the Oilers. Beat the Oilers.
I already liked the Ducks to begin with, to be honest. Like I think they're a fun team this year. They've got a lot of young talent. So I already did, I already had a soft spot for them. I already kind of liked them and was kind of going to be rooting for them anyway. But now that they've got John Carlson, it's just even more so. So yeah, I'll be cheering for them. Thank you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see here. Robbie says, you did great. It's tough. I done it 10 years to keep it all organized. It is tough. They go fast. And I'm just like, I just get distracted and I go off on a tangent about something entirely different than what the comments are about. Hope we win tomorrow and Monday live on my channel. Yeah, we need this. We need this win tomorrow if there's any hope of making the playoffs.
Islanders have lost, so you really need to you do need to win.
Islanders lost when? Again today?
Yesterday.
Or you mean yesterday? Okay.
Yeah, we made up some ground with them losing some games.
They lost their games in hand, so they don't have any games in hand now. So that's good at least. But yeah, this is a massive game tomorrow. Yeah. If they are going to, by some miracle, make the playoffs, they need to win this one tomorrow for sure. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Let's see. We just got a few more here. Space Wolf Painter says Cole Hudson is coming. It'll be okay. That is what I have been saying, man. That is what I have been saying. That's the only thing keeping me sane right now, to be honest with you, is knowing that Cole Hudson is right around the corner and he's going to pick up a lot of those points that John Carlson is leaving behind. So Yeah, it's a tough day, but the future is bright. That's for sure. It's not only Cole Hudson, and we got so many great prospects, right? So it's going to be a fun future for sure. But today it's tough. Today it's tough. But chin up, like I said. Let's see. My man Blue Liner Gil says, "Well done, Sunny and Jenaya. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you so much. Yeah, this has been so much fun." I'm glad that you guys were all here for it too, to see us popping our cherries here on the live stream. Let's see. One more from Robbie Gross, and that'll be our last comment, and then we'll get out of here. Looking forward to Monday, Blue Liner 77. It's been great. Yeah, I look forward to chatting with you guys as well. We'll pick this up on Monday, and like we said, hopefully with a couple of wins under our belts
Hold your
there.
breath.
All right, I'm closing the chat. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been so much fun. Obviously, this was a live stream, but we'll leave it up on the YouTube, as the podcast episodes usually do get quite a few views when they're posted like after the fact like that. So I will leave this up on YouTube as a video as well, and then I will be posting an audio version of it as well. I'll get that converted and post the audio version up for all of our audio only listeners as well. So no matter where you all are tuning in from, thank you all so much for listening. Until next time, babes, and as always, let's go Caps.